So where does Apple Vision Pro fit into the future of podcasting? Well, in this video, I want to describe several use cases, both for consuming and creating podcasts that apply right now, why it's more important than ever to have a video version of your show, and describe what the future could look like with immersive experiences and even more advanced technology. Now, I've been using the Apple Vision Pro for about 5 days, and I'll be honest, maybe like you're seeing it from a distance, I was very skeptical. Even using it the first 3 days, I was not totally sold on it. It's a headset, it can be awkward at times, there's not a lot of apps, although the Riverside app works just fine right now on Apple Vision Pro. You can download it and record high-quality video and audio podcasts in the headset. It's pretty cool. But there are a couple experiences that completely changed my mind on the headset. Now, if you're in the United States, you can go for a demo of the Apple Vision Pro at any Apple store. You can even book an appointment for that. I'll put a link down in the video description if you'd like to do it. But there's actually some immersive video experiences that Apple has created. One is in Alicia Keys' rehearsal room. There's a video of a highliner going across a canyon in Norway, and some other videos that really made the difference. Watching some of those videos in Apple Vision Pro was the moment I realized those experiences can only happen in a headset like this. No other 2D screen, phone, tablet, computer can mimic that experience that Apple Vision Pro can do. I'll talk more about immersive experiences when we look at the future of this kind of technology, but something I'm doing right now is actually working in Apple Vision Pro. You can mirror your Mac screen into AR or VR, have a huge canvas to work with. I've made Final Cut like a 20-foot wide screen in front of me. The detail of working, it's incredible. But not only is working on something in the headset really cool, you can have lots of windows floating in 3D space, and one of those things can be playing a podcast in the background. I actually found myself several times playing a YouTube video layered behind what I was working, and this is much different than maybe playing a YouTube video and then minimizing it. You would just be listening to a show or a video. But now in this AR or VR space, you can actually see that window out of the corner of your eye playing a video while you're still working, and you're not losing any of your workspace or canvas. This is a huge reason why, if you don't already do a video portion of your podcast, we highly recommend you do. And Riverside makes it easy. It's easy to sign up. You get high quality video and audio with you and remote guests. And Riverside has an incredible new editor that makes it super fast and easy to put it all together. You can use AI, spend just minutes editing. Now, Apple Podcasts is available on Apple Vision Pro right now, and you can look at YouTube in the web browser, but YouTube just announced that they are going to be bringing a first-party app to the Apple Vision Pro, and they're already doing a huge push into podcasts on the web, in YouTube Music, and the app, so those apps are coming soon. It's always an advantage to be a first mover when a platform launches a new app or a new product. So if you can have your video podcast on YouTube today, this way when that app launches and people start using it in this headset, they could find your podcast in YouTube. Now that's on consuming podcasts right now, but what about creating? I will say the Apple Vision Pro is limited into what you can actually connect and use with it. For instance, no USB microphones can be connected, no peripherals at all really. This does have a battery pack with a USB-C port, but you can't connect to anything like an SSD or audio interface, so you're really restricted to just the built-in microphone or AirPods if you connect. But like I mentioned before, you can download the free Riverside app in the App Store right now. Just search for Riverside and then tap over to iPhone and iPad apps, download it, and it works just like Riverside on an iPad. You can send a link to remote guests and they can join you in the studio. You can start recording right here in Apple Vision Pro. Everything is recorded in high quality, local recordings as always, and then you can access those later on a desktop. Now, because you are wearing a headset, if you do create a video podcast with Apple Vision Pro and Riverside, it's going to use your digital persona. This is kind of a computer-generated version of your face. The first time you set up Apple Vision Pro, you hold it out in front of you, it scans your face, and then once you create this digital persona, it's then going to use that every time you do a video call, including in Riverside. It can be a little uncanny valley. If you've never heard that phrase, uncanny valley is like, kind of looks almost human, but you definitely know it's not. And that is the case with the digital persona. It does track your eyes and your mouth, so if you smile or when you blink or wherever you're looking, the other people in the call, including in Riverside, will see those facial expressions on your digital persona. But it's probably not something you want to put out in a video podcast right now. Unless somehow you get an incredible looking digital persona, and then let us know down in the comments because mine does not look that great. But the fact that you can just use the Riverside app as it is right now and record a video podcast in this headset, it's pretty incredible. Now let's talk about the future of podcasting and these kinds of experiences. Like I mentioned before, the most compelling experiences are these immersive videos where you feel like you are in the room with these creators. I could see a future where podcast studios might offer this kind of service. Maybe it's not every episode or every weekly show, But you might have times where you do an immersive podcast. Maybe you're talking about physical objects or you have a very special guest. I can imagine you going to a special studio setup, recording a 360-degree immersive environment, and then those consuming your podcast can place themselves anywhere in the room so they can watch you and whoever you're talking to, or maybe they can even sit in the guest chair and feel like they're being interviewed by you, the podcast host. Having that perspective would be really unique. I think people would enjoy it. It is really something you have to see, to feel, and believe. So again, maybe get a demo of it in an Apple store, because having those immersive experiences, you realize what the future can hold for these kinds of entertainment. And not just immersive experiences, but I'm gonna love using this when I travel, and then you can actually watch anything on the plane, on a train, and you can watch it in the privacy of your own headset. Again, another place where people can watch a video podcast either in the background, layer it in a window, put it on the ceiling, you could do whatever with it, and you can have that stuff just playing all day. YouTube already has 3D videos right now. They're a little rudimentary, they're not the same immersive experiences that Apple has made for the Vision Pro, but in the next few years, I could certainly see YouTube's own app offering these kinds of immersive experiences, even if it's just a 3D effect. And right now, you can capture spatial video, which is that 3D immersive video, on an iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max right now. So technically, you could record an angle of your video podcast in spatial video. And as we look to the future of this technology, this is Apple's very first iteration of an AR/VR headset. 5 to 10 years down the road, this is going to get much lighter. You won't require an external battery with a cable going up to your head. And maybe even 10, 15, or 20 years later, the AR glasses might be just like this, a pair of glasses that can then overlay screens in the real world. Having that true augmented reality in a device as discrete as a pair of glasses, it's becoming a reality. Meta's Ray-Ban glasses right now gives you the ability to record photos and videos with glasses that look like normal sunglasses. And if some of you remember Google Glass many years ago, it was the very first attempt at this. The technology just wasn't there yet, but you could see that it was interesting to people. They wanted to try it. So it seems clear that the AR/VR world is now here. The Apple Vision Pro is everywhere. You see content here on YouTube and in podcasts. And I get it. I've had a few immersive experiences in this, and working with this, like editing video on a 20-foot wide screen, it's pretty compelling. And again, if you have a podcast and you've done audio only, or you want to step up the video quality, it's time to use Riverside. Not only do you get those high quality recordings, but you can create magic clips. With one click, we'll use AI to create vertical videos that you can then share on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels. We even have AI show notes, so we can give you takeaways, bullet points, and then timestamps, and you can use those in the YouTube description for chapters on the video version of your podcast. And if you subscribe to the channel right here, we have lots of tutorials to help you get your video podcast both on YouTube. You can get the audio version distributed everywhere through a podcast host, and Riverside has some incredible tools coming very, very, very soon. We have lots of features launching, I'll just be real, and it's going to make it even easier and faster to create that content. So if you have any questions, drop a comment below this video. I'd love to answer those personally. Hit that like button and keep your eye right here on the Riverside channel for some of those announcements. If you want to learn more about the Riverside editor, which got a total overhaul and is now incredibly powerful, check out this video right up here. And if you want to learn more about Riverside and some of the features of the platform, I'll put a playlist right up here. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you next time.